Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is on how to make this turtleneck flare top that you can tie to the back. So the front of this top is about 2 inches higher than the back. You can decide to make the back lower than mine and also make the front a bit higher than this. And if this sounds like something that interests you, ensure to watch till the end. Let's get right into the video. So the measurement needed to make this top will be on the screen. I have the following materials. I have my measuring tape, my chalk, my scissors, my pattern master, and this beautiful Ankara fabric that I'll be using for it. I used about 1.5 yards of the Ankara. So I went on to fold my fabric into 4 places like this. I folded the first one and then the second one, which gave me these 4 pieces here. So the measurement I use in folding is the length, that's the back length of my top. That's the measurement I used in folding. So we'll be making our calculations here. I'll divide the round waist measurement by 6.28 inches instead of the 3.14 inches that I used there, and to be giving you, it gave me about 4.5 inches. So that's what I'm marking there after approximating it. So I'm marking it all round there like I'm doing, and after then I will connect all the points together like I did here. I'll come in by 2 inches from there. You can use 3 inches as well, and then I will come down by 7 inches. I would advise you use 8 to 9 inches for yourself, because after making mine it was a bit tight. So I'll mark it just the way I place my pattern curve. So if you don't want your flare top to be as full as mine, you can just follow the direction the sticker hand is pointing towards and just cut it or mark the armhole area towards that direction. So I'm just going to curve the armhole the way I am doing, and then I will extend the side seam by coming in by 3 inches or 4 inches and then extend the side seam following a slanted line as well. So after this, I'm just going to measure the length of this top, which is about 18 inches from the 4.5 inches we marked down. So I'm just going to extend the same length all the way to the side seam, just like I'm doing. So I went on to make the lines more visible for us to see, and we are going to cut this top from here all the way to the arm, to the side seam, and to the length of the top. So I added half inch around the neck area, which will serve as our seam allowance around there. So I'll go ahead now to cut it out. So this is the look when I was done cutting it. As you can see, is in 2 pieces. This is one of the piece and the other one is one of the piece. So I just brought out one piece of the top, and I'm going to come up by 2 inches from the hem and then connect it to the side seam. So this piece will serve as the front part of the top. I told you earlier that the front is a little shorter than the back. That means it's 2 inches shorter than the back. So it depends on how high you want the front area to be. You can decide to use 3 inches, 4 inches. It all depends on your preference. So I'll cut it out now. So to sew this top, we are going to start with hemming the arm area. That's the armhole area. So we're going to start by hemming that area first. We'll do the same thing for both the front and the back of this top. So we're going to hem it twice, one and then hem it again. Like hemming it twice, just be very careful when sewing this curvy part so that you will sew it neatly and smoothly. So after hemming the both sides, this is how it looks. Ensure to also use a matching thread to sew your top. So after this, I'm just going to bring in the back of this top, and we're going to create a slit at the center back. And to create this back upper slit, we're going to be using 1 inch to do this. So I'm just going to measure 1 inch from that point and sew it all the way down. So I'll first of all mark 5 inches downwards, just like I did here, and then come in by 1 inch and sew it all the way to the hem of the top. And this is it here when I was done sewing it. I used about 1 inch to sew it. So I'm just going to slash open that closed part and go ahead to fold that 5 inches we slitted for the back. So I'm just going to fold it like this, just twice like I did for the armhole area. And then I'll show you what it looks like. I'll also do the same thing on both sides of the slit. And this is it here when I was done folding the 5 inches slit we have at the back. And after this now, our dress is almost ready. So we're just going to bring in the front and place it the right side facing each other so we can join them side by side. So to join the side seams, I'll be using 1 to 2 inches to join the side seams. So I'm just going to sew it along that area and do the same thing for this other side of the top. And this is it here when I was done joining the side seams. I'll flip the wrong side inwards, and this is the front part of the top looking all nice. So you can decide to go ahead and press iron the seams. So for the turtleneck, I'm going to be using this strap that I cut out. It measures about 4 inches in width and about 45 inches in length. I just use the length of the Ankara the way it is. So after this, I'll go ahead to iron my interfacing to this Ankara because I would like to use S-tape for it. You can decide to use yours just the way it is. So I'll go ahead to iron this and then we'll continue with the sewing of the turtleneck. And this is it here when I was done ironing. The next thing we need to do is to notch the center. So I'll fold it in two like this and then get the center and notch it on both sides of the center. So after notching now, we'll go over to our sewing machine to do the proper illustration over there. So this is it here on the sewing machine. So I'm also going to notch the center of the neckline for the front, and that's me getting the center. So after that, I will bring in the strap we just cut out. So I'll bring it in, and then that notched part that we did, I'm just going to merge it to match up with the notch part that I have for the front. So after this, I'm going to be sewing with 0.5 inch allowance. So I'll be making something like a kiss plate at that center front. You can decide to leave yours plain. It all depends on your preference. So I'll be making a kiss plate there, and I'm just going to sew all the way to where it stops. So the distance between the front neckline and the back neckline will be about 2 inches. That is what I marked there. So I'm going to place the back just around the 2 inches I marked, and I'll bring the machine foot to that point and sew all the way to the end. So I'm going to repeat just the same thing I did now to the other side. Remember, we started sewing from the center of the front, so let's complete the sewing from the other side. I just like to sew this way for more accuracy. So I'll start from that notched part as well, and I'm going to make the same kiss pleat that I did earlier, and I'm going to mark what I have there and then make the kiss pleat while sewing till the end of the front neckline. And after this, I'll also space 2 inches in between it and continue for the back just like I did earlier. And this is it when we are done sewing the turtleneck to the neck. And to finish up this turtleneck, I'll come to this point and then flip it like this, like front facing each other just the way I did now, and I'll go ahead to sew it. I'll first of all sew like a slanted point. I'll sew it a little slanted from the beginning and then continue sewing the belt. I'll call it the belt because it helps us to tie it to the back. So I'll trim off the excess that I have there, and also to this side, and then I'll do the same thing to this part, and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is it when I was done. So the next thing we need to do is to bring them in out. So I'll be using the scissors to do this. And this is it here, guys. So the next thing is to cover up the turtleneck. So I'm just going to hem it this way with 1/2 inch first, and then cover it up like this. Just watch closely what I am doing. Remember, I'm starting from that center notched part at the front, and I'm ensuring that both the notched parts of the front and the turtleneck belt is matching with each other. So I'm just going to top stitch it to the front just like I am doing right here. So if this method works for you, it's very fine. But if you have an alternative to achieving the same thing, then you can work with it. I'll go ahead to continue sewing. Please watch closely what I am doing. And after much sewing, this is how neatly sewn this turtleneck is. And this is it here when I was done ironing the turtleneck belt and all of that. And our top is ready, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, ensure to subscribe, like, leave a comment below, and don't forget to share to someone that actually needs this video. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.